The crossbow is easily the best primary weapon in Helldivers 2.
How do I deal with heavy devastators? Crossbow. How do I deal with bot drops? Crossbow. 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 All of it's crossbow. Why is it crossbow?
But for all its power, it has many moving parts that you will need to use well to get the most out of it. My name is Commissar Kai, and today I'm going to show you all exactly why the explosive crossbow is Helldivers' most powerful primary weapon, and all the issues that come with that. Unlike other primaries, this gun doesn't fire bullets, lasers, or glorious white-hot balls of plasma. Instead, it fires Liberty-blessed bolts wrapped with an explosive charge. It carries 5 bolts in a clip. Yes, this is a clip that feeds into an internal magazine, so don't at me, gun nerds. And comes with 8 spare clips by default. But if you reload the weapon before it's empty, you can fire off 6 bolts due to having a full magazine with 1 bolt in the chamber. Each bolt does 270 projectile damage, meaning it can headshot enemies, and 350 explosive damage. Both the bolt and the explosion are medium penetration, meaning you can easily wipe out all the blues and greens in your path. And it can even kill reds if you aim for weak spots. Pretty easily too. You can even wipe out whole patrols with a single clip.
Well,
there goes a patrol. Okay. That was 4
Think about
shots
it. You can't,
from the
you
primary.
can't.
After a few games, it all kind of starts to blur together though.
Why is this more effective than the grenade launcher?
I don't know, dude. That's the question I'm trying to answer. The crossbow is so powerful that you can't really compare it to other primaries. The projectile damage alone is nearly the same as the Deadeye, 270 versus 300, and the explosive component is pretty much the equivalent of the grenade launcher. Hell, it even has the same ability to dig holes. Yeah. Oh, dude, let's dig a moat.
I am a dwarf and I'm digging a hole. Sir, I found a well. You need water and underground.
You dug a well. The explosive effect also comes packed with stagger, meaning it can be even better than something like the pacifier when it comes to making space for your team. After all, why stagger when you can kill doesn't apply when you can do both. But it's not just the damage or the stagger that makes it so powerful. This weapon is accurate and it can fire clear across the map as long as you have line of sight and account for the projectile drop.
Sorry, how far would you say that we are from here in relation to where those shrieker nests are?
224 meters.
Oh wow, that's
Jeez.
far. That is really far.
It's also got pretty snappy aim with 45 ergonomics, which is nearly twice as responsive as the Eruptor. It has enough demolition force to pop open containers, clear out tyrannical fences, destroy enemy Tesla towers, and it can close bug holes. If all this still isn't enough, it's also a one-handed primary. I don't think a lot of y'all appreciate how powerful the one-handed property can be, so I'll bust out my crayons to explain. Bad guys always move towards Helldivers that love freedom. Moving away from bad guys keeps freedom lovers from being turned into soup. One-handed pew-pews let you run from bad guys while shooting them in the face. Running and shooting means you can live long enough to eat more crayons. If that still doesn't clear it up, I wrote y'all a haiku for added clarity, and I counted the syllables this time. Bad guys hate freedom. Run away to stay alive. Fire behind yourself. I know the answer, dude. You're trying to aim. Just don't try to aim. Just you know, general vicinity is enough.
Destroy, we will not talk about the crossbow bolt ricocheting off that thing's crotch.
See, look at this.
No, we won't.
5 shots. This whole group of dudes is dead, and I didn't aim at all. Sure, one-handed weapons work great with shields since you can cover yourself while laying liberation downrange, but being able to run away and shoot at the same time is an incredibly powerful mechanic, especially when you have a weapon that fires explosives which can stagger anything smaller than a charger, or even whole groups of anythings. So to recap, this primary does absurd damage, is highly accurate, has an explosive component that is equivalent to some support weapons, comes with a crazy amount of utility through staggering hordes and closing bug holes, and you can fire it at enemies while you run away due to that one-handed property. But every gun has to have a downside, right? Surely being able to murder all the blues and greens while putting the hurt on the reds means there's still space for some weaknesses. Right? Well, I can say for sure that it's very easy to liberate your teammates when you're packing a primary this powerful. Wait, hang on. No, do it on Dragon, because he's not wearing the... Well, I'll do it. Well,
A little bit too effective.
That was...
I'm not wearing the armor too.
That was
it's
too...
the thing.
I don't... You shouldn't... Wait. Yeah, you shouldn't have... I don't know what you have. I'm sorry. Or if you let the enemy get all up in your business, 1 crossbow bolt is enough to send you to the Wall of Martyrs.
Destroy!
I mean, if you spend ages liberating hundreds of bugs, you might eventually run out of ammo, but being hyper lethal doesn't seem like enough of a downside to me, y'all. Oh, it's not very good at killing factory striders.
Where do you think you're going, Factory Strider? You're not going anywhere important.
Oh, we got him. There we go. Perfect. And it won't do much to barrier leviathans. Hot damn, I know. It cannot kill war striders. So clearly this is a perfectly balanced primary, since it cannot single-handedly destroy the largest enemies in the game. Now let's look at some breakpoints. When you craft a loadout, you want to be sure that you have a tool for every situation, even if it's as simple as pairing an ultimatum with a supply pack to handle all of your red needs. So let's look at some common enemies from each faction and we'll decide what we should use, the rest of our kit or the crossbow. This is a hive guard. Can you guess which weapon we'll use for them? That's right, the crossbow. How about this bug hole? Yeah, that's still gonna be the crossbow. Up next, we have a whole horde of bugs. Can you guess what we'll use for them? That's right, the crossbow. Now we've got something different. This shrieker nest. I think that can be handled with the crossbow. Now we've also got this Vile Titan. Do you see a weapon that can deal with them? That's right, it's the crossbow. Next up, we've got the Impaler. We know which weapon deals with him. That's right, the crossbow. Last for this faction, we have a classic that I think y'all know the answer to. What weapon deals with this charger? That's right, it's the freaking crossbow. Oh, sweet baby Liberty, I cannot go through every faction like this, y'all. On bots, this abomination of a weapon will kill everything they have aside from these assholes. Sure, it's not great at killing gunships or factory striders, but it can. Everything else has no chance to survive any more than 3 bolts. 3 bolts kills a tank, 3 bolts kills a cannon tower even from the side. 4 bolts will kill an entire patrol of devastators. 1 bolt topples rocket striders. 3 bolts can kill a heavy devastator even if you don't bother aiming at them. I mean, this is the ultimate primary if you suck at aiming. Like, you know, if I just... Look, that was just from the hip. Here, just like hip firing. Just boom, you're dead. Boom, you're inconvenienced. Yeah. Entire patrols of little guys die in 1 shot. And don't get me started on the jetpack brigade of bastards. 3 bolts to a jumpy Hulk's face will kill him, his friends, his dog, his neighbors, and whoever delivers his nuts to his house. Accuracy is a non-factor. Just vaguely aim in the direction of the communists and try not to weep as you think about ever using any other weapon again. This gun is so goddamn powerful that it can even destroy the joy I feel in dismantling this faction. With just 3 bolts, it can even close bug holes. On the squid front, it's even worse. They have nothing aside from leviathans that can stand up against the awesome might of humanity's 2,700-year-old technology. It can even destroy their spawners from over 100 meters away with a single clip. Oh, there it goes! Flesh mobs die in 3 frickin' bolts or 4 if you don't feel like aiming for their weak spot. The joy of ripping through hundreds of voteless is cast aside when you can wipe out 15 of them in a single shot. Overseers crumple in just 2 hits even with their shields up. Watchers go down in 1 shot if they're close to you, or 2 if they're further than like 50 meters. Even stingrays go down in just 3 hits. The only enemies that are even a mild inconvenience are harvesters, but you can just strip their shields with 3 shots and kill them with a commando or something. You can wipe out their hordes, clear their blues, destroy their spawners, all with the same gun in any situation. Even if you're getting mobbed by voteless, just shoot the ground next to them and the explosion will do all the work for you. You might think that flying overseers could at least give you a challenge since they move around like a drunken toddler, but the crossbow is just too accurate and too snappy. As soon as you get remotely close to them, they'll only have a brief moment to ponder their place in the universe before a bolt lodges into their skull and explodes. Is this all there is to my life? A soft malaise of mundanity enveloping me as I go from planet to planet, turning these hairless apes into voteless. Wake up, work for someone else, go back to sleep in an ocean of ennui. Is this all that I am worth? A small cog in a larger cosmic clock counting down towards oblivion? Is my life going to be summed up as a series of failures? My God, I went to college for a psychology degree. I had dreams and aspirations of running a clinic and helping people work through their problems. I wanted to be the stone that casts ripples through the universe, saving people from the darkest parts of the abyss. But here I am, writing an ultimately meaningless script about the explosive crossbow. Sure, it might be informative to someone, but it is hardly the life-changing goals I had set for myself. Is this just going to be my future? Disassociating for the rest of my life so I don't have to deal with the weight of the expectations placed upon me? Was my father right? Have I always been a failure? Will I always be a failure? I mean, Liberty's bells. I am literally writing a cry for help in the middle of a video about a gun in a video game. But will anyone stop the video to ask if I am doing okay? If I am actually happy in my life? Is this actually what I really wanted for myself? Also, it's great at closing bug holes. Loadouts are basically pointless when you bring this stupid f***ing gun. There's no need for clever combinations or working in synergy with the rest of your kit. Just bring whatever the hell you want. You probably won't even use it. The Stalwart's always a good option if you're afraid of getting bored blasting through everything with your primary, but you don't need it. At most, bring the Bushwhacker to stagger Stalkers on the bug front and to kill Shriekers a little easier. On bots, just bring Thermites or the Ultimatum for War Striders and Factory Striders. The rest doesn't matter. Although I will say the Spear Gun's a pretty fun pairing, so give that one a try. For squids, just give up, man. Let the hordes of former voters envelop you in their tyrannical embrace as your team calls in a solo silo to put you out of your misery.
Oh, what the?
What?
What just happened?
Did you
Nothing.
Did you solo him? I need a drink. Okay, I feel a little better. Now, pull up a seat and let me explain to you why this anathema of weapon balance is a bad thing for the game and how we can fix it. But first, a short history lesson. When the crossbow came out on April 11th of 2024, it was ass. It had pitiful damage, it was hard to aim, and it couldn't even close bug holes. It needed a lot of attention, but over the course of 5 months, Arrowhead managed to love bomb the thing into the abomination we have today. They increased its muzzle velocity, demolition force, gave it better penetration in the one-handed property, more than doubled the explosive's damage, and increased the explosion radius by 50%. In their efforts to bring a dead weapon back to life, they created a Frankenstein's monster. Normally, this would not be an issue. A few more adjustments to bring it back in line with other weapons is what normally would happen in any other game. But because every time Arrowhead makes any changes that could remotely be perceived as a nerf, the community threatens to burn down their studio. So they decided to leave the weapon as it is. From there, the power creep began. You can't have an S++ tier primary when everything else is barely cracking A tier after all. Basically, if you felt like the game's gotten easier over time as our enemies get weaker and our arsenal gets stronger, then you can blame this weapon. I think we all want guns that are more fun to use, but getting there means telling Arrowhead that we are okay with some of our horrendously OP weapons and stratagems being brought into line with the rest of our kit. I cannot be the only one that groans whenever I see an orbital napalm barrage in the loadout selection screen. Helldivers has a lot of issues that, if solved, would make the game even better to play. At the end of the day, weapon balance is just one small lever that the developers can use to improve the game. After all, who cares if the crossbow is OP if the rest of the game is incredible? But this fear of nerfing weapons or moving their power to different areas is hurting the game in subtle ways. We can't have new toys that are absurdly powerful in unique and fun ways, because that lever of nerfing a weapon or stratagem down a bit is denied to the people that make the game. So instead, they have to release new toys that are kinda underwhelming and then buff them up later. Just think about the Epoch on release. It sucked. And not just because of the crazy spread. It was really easy to blow yourself up, the uncharged mode might as well have been a cloud of laughing gas, and it couldn't close bug holes. But they took an underwhelming weapon and made it much better to use. It just took them 3 months. I think Arrowhead is so scared to nerf anything that they either release new weapons in a less powerful state than they should be, or they follow the way of the dumbass and try to be cute about changing existing guns, like with the indirect nerfs to the Coyote. This erodes players' trust and kills hype for new content. We want our new toys to be strong and unique, but we need to accept that achieving that goal means sometimes we'll need to nerf a weapon back into compliance, which is why, dear Helldivers, I hate the explosive crossbow. So let me see if I can sell y'all my idea on how to nerf this thing in a fun way. Move 150 of that explosive damage over to the projectile damage and make that projectile heavy penetration. This way it could still murder crowds of greens, but it wouldn't be as oppressive to blues. Having 420 blaze it, Damage heavy penetration projectiles would give it a niche of a primary heavy killer and reward players for taking the time to aim their shots without intruding on the Eruptor's role as a crowd clearing machine. The crossbow would be better at downing single targets, while the Eruptor would be better at clearing groups. I'm not a game dev, so I have no idea if this is actually feasible, but after running this weapon so much for this video and slowly losing my mind over the course of doing it, I am convinced that it needs to change to make it less oppressively strong. You can't have a niche if you're equally good at killing everything. But y'all let me know. Maybe y'all will come up with something better. Until next time, this is Commissar Kai, and it's also great at closing bug holes. Actually, let's go kill the convoy, and then we'll worry about the detector tower, because we can farm that for... Are you good?
That didn't happen. That didn't happen. You're seeing things, sir.
I just heard the mine go off.